Dink, 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 dink. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, everyone? Yeah. I don't know if anyone's here right now, but we're gonna be beginning very shortly. Maybe like 2 minutes. I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, perhaps. Let's see how many people are in the chat. How do I do that? Okay, here we go. Yeah, haven't done this in a while, so I might be a little bit rusty. We'll see. Okay, so who's in the chat right now? Shout out to Bubba Husky. Shout out to Forrest Blurta. Shout out to Helen L. Shout out to Jenny Hicks. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Terry, the boy Terry. Shout out to Johnny, Tyler Madcap, Anonymous Poke Addict, Kylie Winchester, who I always say Kyle. I don't know. I can't read. So there you go. That answers your question, Forrest Blurta. If I didn't say that, shout out to her as well. But to answer your question, I do read, but just not very well. Shout out to the prince that wasn't promised. I like that username. Nice. Good shit. But yeah, if you guys didn't notice, an ad did not play before this live stream began because YouTube is on some extra shady shit these days. So we got to start going hardcore. That's all that means. You just gotta upload way more frequently than I have been. And honestly, I've got like 10 videos in the back locker that are ready for March. Yeah. So just stay tuned for that. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Feeling nice and extra toasty this morning. I don't know about you guys. So how are you on this long night? Is it cold there? It actually is. It has been for the past 2 days, Amber. If we got like a week or maybe 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks of 80-degree weather, pretty much every other day, with like a little bit of rain, but mainly springtime, early summer weather. And then out of nowhere, it's like Mother Nature was watching me during that last secret Q&A that I did, riding around Umstead Park, and like after that day, it's been cold. And cold to us is not cold to everyone else, because 50, 60 degrees after it's been 80 for several days. 50, that's pretty cold. So yeah. Let's see who else has been joining us. I'm just gonna do a roll call again. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Anita, Anonymous, Barry, Bubba, Danny, Gaia Shadow, Jenny Hicks, Helen L, Johnny, Tyler Madcap, Kylie Winchester, Letitia Smith, Maria Phillips, Meg France, the Night King. The Night King is with us. Polly Esther, Terry Melendez, and the prince that wasn't promised. Anyone else that is watching but just not participating in the chat, which I do that a lot, so I completely understand that. See, we'll give everyone maybe let's do like 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes perhaps. And then we're gonna start because I'm ready. I got some questions from Patreon. Several days ago, I had announced that, no, it was almost like 2 weeks ago at this point, but I had announced this Q&A like mid-February. I just hadn't quite gotten around to it. See, I gotta make sure. What I'll do is I'll make videos, right? Like rough edits of videos. Like they won't even be finished being edited all the way. Like there'll still be me breathing in them or sneezing or coughing or whatever. None of that's taken out. I'll make that as like a rough edit. Then when new information pops up or when I finally want to release the video, I'll go back over it and make it perfect. I'll add in some new information, or if I think something sounds stupid, like I went on too much of a tangent, I'll re-record it. It just makes it easier for me. If I've got all these videos ready to go, when it actually comes down to putting them out that day, it's only a 4 to 6 hour process as opposed to an 8 to 10 hour process. And I think what I might start doing is just like for a while, for like the past 3 months, I've been releasing videos that are no less than usually 15 to 16 minutes. Like some of them are even 20 plus minutes. But when I do that, it takes me a really long time to get those videos out. So I think what I might start doing is cutting it down to like 10 or 11 minutes just to save myself a little bit of a headache, and I'll be able to get them out more often. Let's see. Are we ready to begin? Are you guys ready for this Q&A to begin? Like I said, the first questions I'm going to be answering are from my Patreon, and that was from a few weeks ago. Let me pull that up. Alright, yeah, this this was from February 15th, so we're going to be answering these questions first. Alright, are you guys ready? Let's do this. You ready to see my face? Hello! Hi. Alright, so yeah. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Sir Hunt's Reviews. My name's Mark, and in this video, we're gonna be fucking answering some... I cursed already. Who cares? Because we're already demonetized before this video even started. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, fuck, shit, goddamn. But yeah, I'm gonna be answering some questions. I'm going to be discussing with you guys about Game of Thrones Season 8, and if we have time, maybe towards the end of this live stream, we'll check winteriscoming.net and Watchers on the Wall and see if there's some new information in regards to Game of Thrones Season 8. Alright, so yeah, these first questions are from Patreon. This is from Dave Gray, aka the drowned god of tits and wine, and I think he's in the chat right now. He says, Q&A, what does Bran spend all his time doing in the Weirwoods? Like, is he just surfing through events in time? If so, shouldn't he be more informed? Now, this is a very good question, I might add. And to be honest with you, I think he's just looking at porn the entire time. He's basically going through every single sex scene in history, and he's checking it out. You know, he's seeing if his pecker works. No, I'm just kidding. That is completely not the true answer. I think the main point of why he isn't more informed as he should be is because one of the lessons that Bloodraven made it a point to continuously instill in this dude is the fact that if you stay too long underneath the sea, you're going to drown. So therefore, if Bran stays too long trying to learn too much information, for a while, he had a safety feature of Bloodraven pulling him out. You know what I mean? Being able to immediately de-warg him, if you will. But now he doesn't have that. And now he's also outside of the cave, so he's having to communicate with people more. I think the main thing is that Bran can just warg without touching a weirwood tree, which his power has increased. So he wasn't able to do that before. But I think it's more of like he only gets glimpses and flashes of shit, like very similar to how it was when he was watching the Night King saying burn them all and shit. He gets information like that. When he's touching the weirwood net, he can actually go back in time like he did with Jon Snow's lineage, you know, watching his parents Rhaegar and Lyanna get married. So he was actually touching a weirwood tree for that, and you saw he got an entire piece of information. But when people come and stand in front of him, he just gets like little pieces, and it just hits him fast, and he like recites what he says. But I think to summarize, I think the main reason why he isn't more informed is because he has that sitting in the back of his head that if I stay too long here, I'm going to drown. I'll be stuck here, which will make, you know, everything that he's done the past several years useless. Let's see. This is another question from Terry, and he is the executive producer of my videos. Shout out to Terry. He says, tinfoil hat question. Season 1, we are introduced to the first significant Valyrian steel sword, Ice. We saw Ice in different scenarios, including being smelted down and forged into 2 separate swords, now in the hands of Brienne and Jaime. Could the attention to Ice be foreshadowing that Ice will be more significant than we know? Ice is several hundred years old, and could Ice be the sword of legend? Well, to answer that last question, big and impractical, but I actually forgot to mention, when I did an in-game theories video about a week ago, I actually don't think that it was the original Lightbringer. Not bring up the fact that the only reason why I put it in the video was because Terry had asked me this question. So yes, it is almost perfect and predestined that Brienne and Jaime, Brienne has been loyal to the North for a few seasons now, and remember, she bent the knee in season 6, so this is going to be 2 seasons she's been completely, I mean, she's honestly been loyal to House Stark ever since Jaime sent her on her quest, but officially working for Sansa, like Sansa accepting her help. So you also have Jaime, who just, for a lack of, I don't think Jaime's going straight north. I think he's going to try to convince a small group of Lannister soldiers to go with him before he goes north. He may even stop by River Run and see if, Edward, see if he can get some help. And it's almost perfect for them to reforge it. I do think that a lot of, and when I mentioned that in the video, a lot of people were bringing up the fact that it's just impractical to wield on a battlefield. Like, who the hell would swing that? Well, you have lots of characters who are capable of doing so. I honestly think that Brienne and Sandor are the best hopes for someone to wield that kind of sword. We all know that Jon Snow's not going to be doing it, but who's to say there isn't some sort of, you know, other, like, it doesn't have to necessarily be used as a sword. Maybe you could attach it to one of the dragon's claws so the dragon can do like old school chariot style drive-bys and just slice people as he runs through the field. That would be pretty badass. Honestly, if you had a dragon with 2 Valyrian steel swords attached on either side of it and it just rode through a crowd of like whites to get to the Night King, I bet you that'd be a good way to take out a shit ton of White Walkers. Then let's see, we have another question. This is from Christian Oles. Shout out to Christian. He says, I'm cautiously excited to find out what fan favorite characters are going to have to be killed twice after they are turned into whites. Now, yes, this is, I actually did a video back in December. It's basically, there's a fiery hand theory that's been floating around ever since Game of Thrones season. I think it actually came out before season 7 even ended, but it was popularized on Reddit. Slash Free Folk, maybe. I could be wrong about that. It might be Reddit slash A Song of Ice and Fire. But either way, that theory involves Melisandre going to Volantis and grabbing the fiery hand, the Order of the Fiery Hand, which is basically this group of priests that are sworn to stay loyal to R'hllor. We do know, and I've done a video on this, and there's going to be more coming. I came up with this theory that each character that's left, not each character, but some of the main characters that are left are going to be champions. Human embodiments of each one of the major gods that has been proven to exist. 2 of those main ones, or I guess 3 of them, the many-faced god of death, the Great Other, and then R'hllor. And I honestly think Daenerys and Jon Snow are both champions of R'hllor. So there's totally a possibility, and I got so fucking sidetracked I can't even remember the question. Oh yeah, sorry. There's a good amount of, you know, reason to believe that Melisandre is going to be able to convince these fiery hand people, and that may be the only reason why she went there, to get more of these fiery hand people or just other fire priests and priestesses to come over and start resurrecting Jon Snow and our main group of heroes as they fall on the battlefield. If this is the case, some of those people that we can see dying are, you know, pretty much anyone, I guess. But my whole thing is I don't know if anyone can be brought back. I think if Jon Snow dies, he can definitely be brought back. If Beric dies, maybe one more time, he can get brought back, but he wouldn't be able to speak or something crazy. That's another thing, too, is I don't think they can just resurrect anyone, as they have to be chosen by R'hllor. So they have to, I guess, do something to get on R'hllor's good side. I don't know. But as of right now, some of the only main people that we see that with are Sandor, Jon, Beric, Daenerys. If she were to die, she's definitely a champion. She's literally the embodiment of fire, so she's definitely a champion of R'hllor. I honestly don't know any other characters than Jon Snow, Beric, Daenerys, and Sandor that can be resurrected. You could say that Arya is the champion of the many-faced god of death, and because she is this, you know, what is dead may never die. Arya's already dead technically, so she can't die. I don't know. Like, obviously, that's you know, took it down a different path there. But another question from Christian, and this is the last one from Patreon before we will start picking up what's in the chat. Which, by the way, I don't even know how many people are watching right now. How many people we got? We got 71 people watching right now, and I see 32 likes. Can we get to 50 likes? Perhaps. Also, please share this video. Make sure you share it as much as possible. I am having a contest for a $100 Amazon gift card, and all you have to do to enter that contest is leave a like on this video. Make sure you comment down below. You can't really comment right now because it's a live stream, but you can comment afterwards. And it's also, I think the past 2 videos I've been running it, so you can go and leave a comment on those, retweet the status on Twitter, share it on Facebook, you know, all that groovy shit. And then on March 13th, I'm going to pick a winner, which is less than 2 weeks from now. I'm going to pick a winner of that competition. I still have not heard back from the person who won the $50 Amazon gift card, though. So, yeah, I'm giving them a few more days. I am of the belief that Dragonglass and Valyrian... This is from Christian Oles over on Patreon. I'm of the belief that Dragonglass and Valyrian still will not kill the Night King. Using that as a premise, what exactly can defeat him? Well, I don't think it's 100% proven that Valyrian still won't kill him. I think the fact that he has a piece of dragon glass shoved in his chest, that may eliminate dragon glass as being able to defeat him. We do know that dragon glass can kill the White Walkers, as well as Valyrian steel. And I think they made us like, dragon glass can kill whites as well. But I think dragon glass is completely ruled out as an option of killing the Night King. But I don't think Valyrian steel is. I think if enough Valyrian steel or the right Valyrian steel sword can do so. Like, I think Arya's dagger that she has, the cat's paw dagger, I think that's been reforged from Blackfire, which is like an ancient no, what the fuck am I talking about? Dark Sister. Sorry, there's not a video linked down below, but there is a video that I've done on it from way back. I think it was like after the second episode, after we first saw the dagger in Game of Thrones season 7. I did the video on it, but you can go and watch that. I honestly think that there's a good chance that being from House Targaryen, fire and blood, I think that that mix of not only fire magic but also blood magic involved in the forging of that sword may defeat him. But I think he's gonna have to be attacked from many different sides. Like, Bran is gonna have to hit him in the weirwood net. Speaking of which, there's actually a video that I finished yesterday that I was uploading. The reason why I didn't drop it yesterday was because YouTube took down my Qyburn theory video for no fucking reason. It's probably one of the most frustrating things ever. Usually they demonetize it, which I expect on every single video now, but they've never completely removed it from YouTube. Like, it's still playable, but it doesn't show up in my fucking feed. So, anyway, I was like uploading this Bran video, and in that Bran video, which I'm giving you guys a little sneak peek of it here, I mentioned how Bran is able to walk when he's in the warg. So why can't he take a weapon with him? Now, this has been something that I've been mentioning for a fucking over a year now on my channel. It only makes sense that Bran is stronger in the weirwood net. He can walk around, he can see shit. Who's to say he can't take a sword with him? Let's say he took the cat's paw dagger with him, attacked the Night King while he was in warg, and because he's in warg, it's like the dagger manifests itself there, and then he stabs the Night King through the heart with that, as Jon Snow hits him in the real realm, while he's being distracted with maybe a small group of people, and they're able to get in close. I honestly think that if they were to take out most of the White Walkers, and then it's just the Night King, before he was able to raise another White Walker, because we know that's a whole process, he can only raise more dead whites, which if you have dragons hovering above you, you can fucking take care of them. They're nothing when it comes to fire. But if that were the case, you eliminate all the White Walkers and it's just the Night King and he's trying to fight off everyone else, like, he's kind of screwed. He's gonna die eventually. The White Walkers, I think, are more important because not only are they stronger, but they can also raise the dead. So while he's not, maybe he sees something there's something that he misses, and then the White Walkers pick it up. So yeah. Really? What the fuck is going on with that? What? How is this stream? How is this even happening right now? It says the stream health is good, but it's clearly not. My fucking PC is not overheating at all. What the fuck is going on, dude? Oh, man, this is stupid. On my end, I have not dropped a single frame. Yeah, no, it's on my end. I just don't know how. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what's funny? I just bought a Alright. Did that fix it? It says it's back to normal. I just ended it and then I restarted it. Let me refresh the page and see. God, this is frustrating, dude. I don't even know when it started doing that. Can you guys see me or can you see the fucking waiting screen from the beginning? Because there should be literally no fucking reason why. If anything, I should be running 140 FPS right now. I paid $350 for this fucking GTX 1060. And honestly, I kind of think the dude hit me with some other shit. Because he said it was brand new out the box. But I've had some questionable issues with it. $350 is way too much fucking money. That's more expensive than any other part in my PC, dude. Jesus Christ. This is stupid. Is it working now? Can y'all see? Is it working? Alright. I'm about to go look on YouTube. I'll be right back. Alright, everyone's saying it's working now. Let's see. You switch scenes. Can y'all see me? Is it still doing that? Let me pull up the chat. Oh, that really threw me off. Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, you guys should be able to see me. Alright, cool. Alright. I don't even remember what the fuck we were talking about. I guess Bran and the Night King. Alright, so yeah, you guys want to start tossing me some questions from the chat? I don't know how much longer we'll be doing this. If it starts doing that again, I probably will resort to my cave. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, I actually started a Twitch channel. Like, not anything serious at all, but like I play this game called Fortnite, which is extremely fun, and it's fun to watch. So yeah, I don't know if you guys want to add me on there. It's like twitch.tv/SirHunts. I was playing for like an hour or two last night. It was pretty fun. I think there was like King McKay was watching. I don't think there was anyone else that saw it. It's weird. I guess Twitch doesn't save your videos after you finish streaming them. I don't know, or maybe they do, but you have to like be a Twitch partner or some shit. I don't know. No more talking shit about YouTube. Well, if YouTube wasn't such a yeah. Okay, question. Is it possible the Night King could lose control of the White Walkers and have them turn on him? So you're saying, is it possible for Bran to overtake the Night King's warg on the undead? I don't think so. I don't think Bran's nowhere near strong enough. I think the only way that Bran's going to be able to defeat him, or anyone's going to be able to defeat him, is a group effort. There's no way it's going to be solely on one person. Like, there are several things that you could say are, you know, one person is completely responsible for. But something like killing the Night King, not so much. It's going to be a group effort. I've been saying for probably 2 years now, a little bit less than 2 years, that Azor Ahai is not one person. It's a group of people. There are so many different characters that represent or that fit the Azor Ahai prophecy. There's no fucking way that it's just going to be one person. I just don't see that happening. Q&A, do you think Arya will survive? To that, I point you to my mini Arya videos. I did like 2 Arya videos last month and then 3 in January. Q&A, since Dany took over or looted a few famous cities in Essos, do you think she should have found more Valyrian steel swords even if she wasn't actively looking? See, I don't even think the show would pay attention to something like that because Valyrian steel swords come from Valyria originally. Valyria is in Essos, and the only person that we see really go there is Jorah, and he gets grayscale, and Tyrion goes with him. I don't know if it would be pretty awesome if when Melisandre went over to Essos, she wasn't just going there to grab fire priests and priestesses. She was also going to grab some weapons, those being like Valyrian steel weapons. Maybe even a suit of armor for Jon Snow. That would be fucking awesome. Honestly, I think Kinvara is going to back Daenerys mainly because she's already seen Daenerys and they're not going to be so accepting of Jon Snow. Like, Melisandre's going to do a good job of explaining that no, the Lord of Light chose Jon Snow and Daenerys, but he's brought back Jon Snow from the dead. I think as far as like who represents who, I think it would be interesting to see like a debate between Kinvara and Melisandre about who is the true chosen one. Because honestly, I think there's going to be some fire priests coming back with her, but it'll be interesting to see if they survive the battle, which side they go to represent. Because I think Melisandre will be successful in convincing maybe a few to join for Jon Snow. But I think the majority of them are going to be on Daenerys' side. Either way, it works out for us as the audience because Jon and Daenerys are a team now. So we do know that they're going to be working together. So whatever type of help Melisandre is going to be bringing, most likely it'll affect both of them. But I think all of the priests over there right now are 100% Daenerys' side. They don't know about, Jon Snow. Arguably, you could say that Sandor is a champion, He was near death. Q&A, do you think Daenerys will kill Cersei? No, I don't think Dany is like, in my mind, someone who, like Cersei, will be responsible for a lot of deeds, good or bad, but they won't actually get their hands dirty. I can't honestly see Cersei fighting anyone. Like, yeah, she smacked the shit out of Joffrey, but that's about as most physical. Maybe trying to fight Jaime off when Jaime raped her over Joffrey's dead body. I don't know. There's certain female characters that have that warrior aspect, and Daenerys and Cersei are not one of them. So I don't think she will physically kill anyone. She would poison someone 100%, but I don't think she would choke the life out of somebody or stab them or whatever. Q&A, do you think Jaime can be the Night King Slayer by ripping his heart out with his golden hand? I don't think so. I don't think the Night King even possesses a heart. I think it's like blackened ice. You saw when Dragonglass got stabbed into it. That probably is his main control center, is that piece of Dragonglass. It's kind of like if you destroy that piece of Dragonglass, he'll probably die. Like if someone were to remove it. So if that's what you meant, I don't know. I see Jaime being more of like a battle commander. If it wasn't for Jaime's strategy in this Long Night War or in this battle to try to prevent the Long Night in Season 8, if it wasn't for his strategy, everything would be fucked. We saw one Lannister in their strategy not work out too well for either side last season. So it would be interesting to see Jaime kind of fill that role. Like on land, Jaime is the battle commander. Q&A, do you think Jon and Sansa getting married is possible? Nope. Q&A, what do you think about Jon Snow being Aegon, and what do you think Daenerys will say about Jon equals Aegon equals king? I've actually done a video on that. One of which was with someone who I tried to get to join me for this, Aziz from History of Westeros. Go and check those out. It was called one of them I think was what will Daenerys and Jon do once they find out the truth, and then I did another one talking about how Dany and Jon could potentially, fight it out. I don't think that's gonna happen because we don't have enough time to see that happen. But there may be like a miniature version of the. I don't really want to say Blackfire Rebellion because the context is completely different. But we might see another in-house Targaryen civil war if we had more time. Like if we had a full season 8, 10 episodes, definitely. But we don't. We only have 6. So I think every single one of them, I hope a battle takes place over 3 to 4 episodes. That would be so dope. And then you have other events going on elsewhere because this is Game of Thrones. But for the majority of the episode, we just see the battle and it's just intense. Someone actually left a comment. I don't know if it was on my last video or maybe the one before that. the in-game theories video, or it might have been on the Qyburn video that got taken down. But either way, someone had mentioned how Ned tells Theon that 100 men could guard Winterfell from 1,000 men. So there's the possibility of a long battle being fought out. And spoiler alert, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. I might be mentioning some stuff about, you know, that you might not know. So this should be plenty of enough time for you to back out. Maybe slap a like on this before you go. Thank you for watching. But Winterfell is burning. So we do know, I think Jon Snow and Cersei meeting may be one of those scenes that was filmed just to screw with us, because it was filmed literally right next to a window. I'm not saying they don't meet, but I'm saying the way that scene was filmed, I think that was completely fake. But as far as Winterfell burning, I think that's kind of like a real deal. There's definitely going to be a battle at Winterfell. I honestly predicted that it was Cersei burning it with wildfire, so there's still a potential of that. But if there's like a long drawn out battle, we could have most of our heroes defending Winterfell against, like, whether it's from White Walker invaders or from Cersei's Golden Company or Lannister soldiers that stay loyal to her. They could be guarding out Winterfell, and then finally it gets breached, and then they have to go get forced into the Winterfell crypts, which we do know that, another spoiler alert, if you stayed around from this last one, you probably know this. Jon Snow was actually seen filming at the place where they've filmed the Crypts of Winterfell scenes at, so there could be a possibility that Jon Snow shows up with Daenerys and just has Daenerys wait in White Harbor, and then he rides to Winterfell and goes to go see who's surviving on that. There's also recently, I think it was last weekend, we had a few shots of what potentially was like dead bodies, carcasses, like obviously fake ones. They were dummies, but they were strewn out and laid out in a field. And a lot of people think this is the aftermath of the battle because it was in Northern Ireland where they filmed for Winterfell. And the fucking pictures are extremely blurry on this one. That's why I can tell, like, the real ones, the pictures are blurry because the person's obviously nowhere near the actual thing and they have to zoom in with their camera. On their phone maybe, which doesn't have the best zoom. But I think all of those extremely blurry pictures might be the real deal. And then the ones close up, like with Cersei and Jon, those are fake. But in this, there's like a little side picture that he posts where he tries to enhance it even more. And it looks like there's a group of people standing over a dead body. This person mentioned that he thought that it could be, they could be holding a dagger or something. So that immediately I heard dagger and then standing over a dead body. I'm like, dude, Arya standing over Sansa's dead body? Look, that's the first thing that popped into my mind. But I think that the reason why they did that, just for like several other reported spoilers and shit, they try to fuck with us. You remember we had that book website say that Winds of Winter is coming out in November or whatever? That was fake as shit. So they know if they say stuff like there's a person standing over a dead body with a dagger. Who the fuck famously got a dagger last season? Arya. I looked at that picture up and down, and I could not see the dagger, so I don't know. But yeah, certain stuff like that, you take it all with a grain of salt, but certain stuff like that has a little bit more substance to it than other. Oh shit, we got a super chat! I wasn't expecting that. That's what's up. Which is even better because this is demonetized, so that's what's up. This is from Danny Jeter, and he says, keep up the good work. Well, thank you, good sir. Did you have a question with that? I can answer it if you would like to type that into the chat. Q&A. If you guys haven't noticed, my go-to impression is German Nazi Hitler. I don't know why. Q&A. Do you think any characters that are left will be revealed to be Faceless Men? This is from Aaron Hall. Yes. And I'm going to answer it, but I'm also going to refer you to the in-game theories video that I did a week ago. In that video, I mentioned a theory that someone randomly tweeted at me on Twitter, Silver Agario. And in that tweet, they linked to a video, and I had seen articles on this before, but basically, there's a possibility that Littlefinger, you remember when Arya was spying on him, there was like a part where he knew Arya was intentionally spying on him, but he's known for, ever since he saw her and Brienne sparring, that she was a Faceless Man, because Sansa says, you know, she's had Faceless Men training. Littlefinger has roots in Braavos. His grandfather's from Braavos. Like, their house hails from there. So he was, I'm sure, when he was being brought up, he was taught the Braavosi legends. He knew about Faceless Men. He knew of their power. So as soon as Sansa basically warned him of this, that Arya was a Faceless Man, he immediately started enacting a plan in which he was going to get the fuck out of there. So I don't know if you necessarily have to be from Braavos, and I didn't really include this part, but, you know, after having thought about it some more, I think it's a possibility that Littlefinger escaped Winterfell by wearing the face of someone else. Maybe he knows how to, I mean, it's not technically impossible for someone to put on the mask, but we do know that all masks poison them, I guess, if they aren't, but that's what happened to Arya. I don't know, I'm getting too much in thought here, but there's a possibility that Littlefinger paid the iron price to have a Faceless Man, who was that woman that he met with, take his place, and that's who we saw die. And Littlefinger could literally show up in the last couple scenes to become King of the Ashes. That would be dope. This one's from Danny. It says, Q&A, what would be the best place for non-combatants to retreat? North of the Wall, Bear Island, Vale, the Twins. I don't think anywhere south in Westeros is a smart way to go. A smart way to go, because that's the way that the Night King's headed. We know he's headed south. There's nowhere to go but south. Going back north of the Wall, I've mentioned that before. I thought that that would be a really good idea for Jon Snow to send Sansa and maybe Daenerys north of the Wall to either Craster's Keep or just somewhere, you know, maybe like Hardhome or something, because we do know that since the Night King is coming south, theoretically he should be bringing all of his troops with him. So the safest place next to danger is right underneath danger's nose, which is why, like, you have the whole Lord of the Rings comparison. We have the safest way for Frodo to travel is right along enemy lines. He has to go to Mordor. The way they go is a route that Sauron is marching all his troops, but that's the safest place for them to be because they're right next to danger. Danger's not expecting them to be that close. So you have that very similar aspect if Jon were to think properly, or if he gets in Winterfell in time and he can have them, you know, maybe go north of the Wall. But I don't think, to answer the second part of your question, I don't think anywhere south is safe. I think it would just be silly to think that that's going to be, you know, a thing. Oh, Helen, how are you not a moderator? Let me fix that. God, and of course the chat wants to start doing this silly shit. Alright, you have the, wrench. Use it wisely, madam. Q&A from Amber. Varys said when he looked into the flames, they turned blue, and blue flames are associated with the Night King. What are your thoughts? I don't think the Night King had anything to do with that. And I've actually answered this before. I don't know if you've asked this before, Amber, but I've answered this exact question. I remember responding to a comment a few videos back. I don't think the Night King has anything to do with Varys and his happening that made him go down the path that he did. I think, if anything, it's R'hllor. Is the kitten not in here? He's outside. How did he get out there? Come here, little baby. Come here. No, I'm going to show you on camera, bro. That's my little black baby. My little black bastard. I call him bastard all the time. He doesn't know what it means, and I don't say it hateful, so he... Say what's up, kitten. Say what's up. Okay. He doesn't like being held. Imagine that. The bigger he gets. I used to be able to hold him like this. Wait, chill, bro. Chill. Okay, never mind. God. I used to hold him like a fucking baby, though, like this. It was the cutest thing. Sometimes I can get him now if he's, like, really sleepy. Sorry, what were we saying? Yeah, so let me just summarize. I think the reason why Varys had his junk tossed into the flame, it's just, I don't know if we'll ever get answers for it. I honestly think that it's just something that was put in his past to direct him down the way that he goes. Like, if he hadn't have had his penis removed and it was tossed into the flame, he wouldn't be a character in Game of Thrones because he wouldn't have gone down the path that he did. He likely would have stayed a spy or, you know, just done something that wouldn't have led him to be in the position that he is now. And we sort of need motivation behind certain characters to know how they work. So just having that back history of Varys having a traumatic experience like that at a young age, that sets him down the path that he's set to go in. George has to provide stuff like that to make his narrative the way that it is. Like, we get certain information about certain characters' backstory, and it just adds to the mystery. I don't think that'll ever be touched upon. And for the show, it's definitely not a thing because we saw that it was R'hllor. Kinvara knew what that priest said. So that was R'hllor. You know what I mean? She could see it in the flames. She could hear it in the flames. The Night King isn't necessarily associated with blue flames either. Viserion is associated with blue flames. Other than that, we've never seen the Night King do anything with blue fire. And honestly, he's kind of afraid of it because if you remember when they set up that firewall at Bloodraven's cave, sorry, Three-Eyed Raven's cave, he used his wind power in like earth bending to remove those flames. He did walk through them, but ultimately they were fanned. So there's no association with blue fire to the Night King other than Viserion, which was episode 6 of season 7, which is still only a few months old. So there's, other than that, we don't really have enough back history. And I honestly think that that was just something that was put in Varys's. The attention that we got on it with Kinvara threatening Varys, that was the most attention we'll ever see to it on the TV show. I don't even know if it would. I honestly think there's more of a chance to find out exactly what happened in the novels, but there's still a chance that that would never be touched upon. Q&A, do you think we'll see the other Fagon in the show? Probably not. Not probably not. Definitely not. I think his story is going to be sort of given to Jon. Like, Jon is not a fake dragon, not at all. He's a real dragon, but I feel like there's only a room for one Aegon on the show, and I think that George having Dan and Dave not include him in the TV show, or the route that Dan and Dave took, knew that he was a fake, he was a pretender, so they didn't even want to have his storyline on the show. Because honestly, that would have been one of the greatest things if we had. Maybe they could have brought him on in season 3 or something, and they just started showing clips. Like, you remember how the Ironborn are brought on, and we just see like little clips of him doing something with like Jon Con. That would be dope, but there's no precedence for that, and it would be too big of a reveal for the final season. Like, not too big like it would blow too many minds, but just it would leave way more questions than answers. And I think one of the major themes in season 8 is going to be tying up loose ends. We had that as a major theme. All right, sorry, I gotta put my fucking hair out of my face. We had that as a major theme the last season, in season 7, and I think that will continue to be a theme. Hopefully, the way that we solve all these loose ends is not just bringing them back to kill them off. I saw a lot of people saying that Mira is pretty much done for, and we're probably not going to be seeing her again. I don't think that that's the case. I think there's still a little bit left, a little bit of story left there. I would love to see the Cronogmen on the battlefield. Like, she goes back and tells her father, hey, look, this is what happened. This is where I've been. There's this great war that's coming. We cannot just sit here and die. There's no way that Mira spends all this time on the show. We know of House Reed. We know that Howland Reed, her father, was present for Jon Snow's birth. There's no way that that was just, you know, obviously it happens like that in the books. That's why they did it like that on the TV show. But everything they show on the TV show has to come back up at some point. Now, I know there's certain things from earlier seasons that have never been touched on, and it was just kind of like a one-off thing. But it's just it would leave too much, like, what the fuck. There's no way that House Reed is just content with just staying there waiting to die. You know what I mean? There's no way. I think that honestly we're gonna see a small army of Cronogmen come back, and if anything, they want to do it because the way that Howland Reed dies is being killed by them. So, you know, that would make, you would think that would, oh, I'm sorry, did I really just say that? The way Jojen was killed was by, I got so fucking sidetracked. Jojen was killed by the undead. So it would only make sense that House Reed, not being a bunch of pussies, wouldn't want to sit there and wait for death. Mira probably goes back, explains this to her father, and then her father's like, well, we've got to, if anything, avenge your brother's death. And then that's when, you know, he'll send some of his troops, and we may even get an appearance from him, further confirming it for Jon Snow. Like, look, your brother has this weird way of saying shit, but what he said was the truth. I was actually there, present. I saw you as a baby. Ned took you home. Your real name is Aegon. Q&A. Do you believe Arya and the Hound will team up and head to King's Landing to take out the trash? Yes. I've done a video on that called Sandor the Crippled Rescuer Theory. Go and check that out. Kokui Nigra says, oh my god, I found you live. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Pimples and everything. I'm age 28 and I still get fucking blemishes. Avril Lavigne gets blemishes and she rocks harder than anyone else. Type in the chat and I'll give you 5 fucking bonus points if you can tell me what show that's from. It should be pretty obvious. They took It's Always Sunny off of Netflix, and that's deeply hurt me, so I've pretty much only been binge watching this show. It's from The Office. I just told it for you guys, but that was hilarious. Avril Lavigne gets them, and she rocks harder than anyone else. Those episode where Michael thinks he has herpes because he has a cold sore on his lip or whatever. Kevin goes, Michael, we know how you got that. It's herpes. Oh my god, that's such a good show. Q&A. Do you think there will be a large gap in time between the end of season 7 and the start of season 8? I would have liked there to have been, because then you have Bran training more. You have all of this stuff that would be too hard to explain by showing it. You know, movies get away with that. They'll skip over some of the hardest scenes to either CG or to just that would be less believable. Or right when a character is about to die, they just cut away and then you come back and the character's alive. If there was a possibility to do that, if season 7 had ended a completely different way, I would have liked there. And it would have been possible for there to be a time gap, and we could see Valyrian steel suits of armor being made, maybe super dragon glass weapons, maybe Jaime gets a sword hand. But the way that it ended, no, it's going to be picking right back up where it left off. The Night King is headed south. Any kind of lapse in time would mean that they would pick up with the battle, and we're just supposed to believe that, you know, all the other time while all these other things were happening, the Night King was just sitting there waiting to march on Winterfell. I don't know. It's possible there could be a small time jump at some point in the season, maybe like between episodes 3 and 4. Like, let's say Winterfell gets destroyed in episode 3, then we come back with episode 4 with there being a few weeks passing in between, and they've either started rebuilding Winterfell or they've found a safe place to call home for the time being. Welcome to the Pimple Club. Q&A. Is Jon Snow's ultimate fate to become the new Night King? No. Nope. I don't think anyone... See, that's the point. They've let it up to be the Night King is the big bad this entire series. There's been human big bads, but the Night King is the big bad. So if someone has to replace him, and that's the way that they're going, they have not left any sort of foreshadowing to it, because the way that he's shown on the TV show is that he should not exist. He's a freak of nature, and he's everything pure evil. Now, I do think that in the novels, we'll get a little bit more to the backstory of, by the way, my dog's over here. This is how he sleeps away from facing me. I forgot. I gave the cat some love. I gave the kitty some love. Gotta give my dog some love. But yeah, no, the way that he's been shown on the TV show is that he shouldn't exist. He's a freak of nature. He should not be there. So if they're going the route that he needs to be replaced, there'd be other foreshadowing for it. There'd be more characters saying, hey, look, there's a balance between ice and fire. And yes, there has been a few characters saying, yes, there needs to be a balance that exists. But having the Night King... that's just too much of a perversion of nature. He's creating, or he's destroying more than he's balancing, putting in heart. You know what I mean? Like, I guess you could say that the humans have to be in the deep south, and he wants their population has gotten too much out of control. But you can't really argue that they're destroying. Like, I know there's like this big global warming conspiracy that goes with it. George R. R. Martin has confirmed that this isn't a thing, because the only thing of why the seasons are the way they are on the TV show and in the books is because of magic. But there's like this big underlying message that is definitely present that, you know, global warming is a bad thing. But these humans aren't like we are. They don't have coal factories. They don't have fucking nuclear waste being dumped into the ocean. They don't have oil leaks. They don't have stuff like that that's actually destroying the environment. What they're doing themselves is destroying themselves by having all these wars and causing plagues and famine and shit. They're doing it to themselves. So the fact that the Night King... a lot of people think that the Night King represents this balance and he's like bring it just doesn't, that doesn't work. He's evil and he shouldn't exist. So him dying is going to be the end of it. There's not going to be another person that replaces him, maybe eventually, but I don't think that that's their goal. I don't think they're going the route of like everything needs to be set back to normal and the Night King is a normal thing. No, I think he's just been building his army since he's been back there this entire time because he's been pissed off and he's just become so non-human and, you know, the physical embodiment, the champion of the great other. He just wants death. He wants to wipe out everything, and that type of creature can't exist. Hey, can you guys not fight when I'm on camera, please? It's extremely distracting, especially when I hear one of you gasp for air like that. Jesus Christ, are you okay? Cats are fucking each other up. Let me let one of them out. Hang on. Sorry about that. How long have we been streaming for? 30 minutes on this one, and I think we did like 17 minutes on the last one, or maybe 18 minutes on the last one. So yeah, as long as you guys are still interested, we'll keep it moving. Q&A. What do you think about what's gonna happen with the Iron Throne? I mean, I'm sure. Go and watch my last video. Literally the last video that I uploaded. Go and check that out. Nikolai Daro says, if Daenerys did not save Jon from over the wall and the Night King did not get a dragon, how did the Night King think he will go over the wall? So basically, if he didn't get a dragon, I don't know. It's a good question. I think he planned that whole thing. There's just way too many coincidences that happen for me to not think it was planned. If he knows that Jon Snow is the champion of R'hllor, he knows he's everything against R'hllor. He wanted to get a dragon because he knew he was going to need it. That was the only way he was going to get through the wall. So I think that was his plan, like, almost the entire time. Ever since he saw Jon Snow, he could see his Targaryen blood. He knew eventually this character, if he did enough things, would bring him a dragon. Because he is technically one of the last dragons. Maria Phillips, I'm turning 29 on the 19th this month, and I feel like I'm turning 30. This may be count. Yes, it is. It's like a midlife crisis. It is probably, it's scary as shit, because 10 years ago, I was supposed to be graduating high school. You know what I mean? So that was like still high school age, but the more time goes by, the further you get away from that, and it's just like, you're like, what the fuck, dude? 30 always sounded so old to me. When I was like coming of age, when I was 19, 20 years old, I'm like, man, I'll never be 30. It's going to be so long from now. Like, no, it fucking, this time has gone by like that. So I'm honestly going to start adopting, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I've never seen you get up there. Literally, I've never seen him do this. I don't know if you guys can see the kitten right there. He's on top of the toilet. What are you doing, bro? What the fuck are you doing? That's a new thing. He's like, hey, you're doing your live stream. You just do your live stream. I'm gonna do my thing over here. I'm gonna stand on top of your fucking toilets and I'm gonna take a piss. That would be the funniest thing. Oh my god, that would be so hilarious. He's like, look, I know you take poops and pees in here. I gotta figure it out myself. For some reason, my cat is from New York. The drowned god of tits and wine says, I think the time jump will be at the end and we'll see old King Jon. So like how The Walking Dead's been doing it? I freaking hope not. Oh man, Walking Dead. Your 20-year high school reunion is in 5 years? Jesus Christ! I mean, that's like me. I'll be 35 in 7 years. Like, that's a long way from now. You guys pretty much just had your 10th high school reunion or whatever, or the first one. Q&A, do you think that the Night King's goal is to get to the Isle of Faces? Do you think that Bran will insist that he needs to go there? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the Isle of Faces is a thing in the novels. We haven't had hardly any precedent of it, and they completely changed like the significance of what's the most important place. The Isle of the Faces is where the Children of the Forest and the First Men signed the pact, and that basically stopped the war for the time being. But I don't see that like it wasn't, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't called the Pact of Ice and Fire. I don't think that same place is the same place. The place that the White Walkers were first made is that significance. And I call that place the Altar of Winter. Another shameless plug here is, like, I have a video called The Altar of Winter Theory that everyone missed. You should go check it out and watch it if you haven't already. But yeah, I don't think that, oh yeah, spoilers are abound in that video, just to give you a heads up. But I don't think that the Isle of Faces has really any significance. Like, obviously we saw an eye, what could represent the Isle of Faces in the cave paintings that Jon Snow showed to Daenerys. That is not necessarily what it was. I think that definitely represents an eyeball, but I think that was a physical representation of Bran, because Bran will have the heavy hand in killing the Night King. So with Bran's guidance, like, you can see the Isle of Faces, or what's supposed to be the Isle of Faces, what I think is an eyeball. It's clearly hovering over them. It's not attached to a body in any sort of means, and I think that this could be a representation of Bran having to kill the Night King in the Weirwood Net, which has been a prediction of mine for fucking, I think, since Game of Thrones Season 6, since Bran came back. I've been saying that, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like this was my favorite example to give. There's a movie, I think it's like the third Nightmare on Elm Street, where basically Freddy is like torturing these kids and they're all in a psych ward, but they realize that they can do certain shit when they're dreaming that they can't do in real life. One of the guys who's paralyzed is able to walk, very similar to Bran, and he starts doing all these crazy flips, and that's how they fight Freddy Krueger, is because they have the advantage that it's their dream too. They can do similar shit to what he can. So if this is the case, and the Night King can force Bran out, and Bran can walk in these visions, and I just said this probably like 20 minutes ago, or I don't know if I said this, and then that's when the live stream started breaking up. Hopefully it's not breaking up right now, because that would fucking suck. But basically, who's to say that Bran can't take like the cat's paw dagger with him right before he wargs, and then when he goes into that warg, he still has it. Just like he's able to walk, like his legs work. So obviously he's able to do certain things, and I think he hasn't really touched on that too much. Remember, he tried to call out to Ned. Ned turned around almost as if he's heard him. Now, Three-Eyed Raven did say that history is written, the ink is dry. If this were 100% true, how was Bran able to get his father to turn around like that? There's something that Bloodraven didn't want to tell Bran, because he thought that Bran maybe would exploit it, and maybe Bran becomes the Night King. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there you go, Dream Warriors. Dennis Sorensen, what's up? Shout out to Dennis. The Walking Dead is a whole year-long conversation. Hell yeah. Q&A. Jaime killed the Mad King. He is on his way to face Winterfell. On his way to Winterfell, what do you think the meeting between him and Dany will be like, since he killed her father? Now, that's interesting, and I will answer that, because normally in my videos I address him and Bran, because I feel like he pushed Bran out of the window, but Bran will ultimately have to forgive him, because had he had not done that, then Bran's green seal powers wouldn't have awakened so quickly as they did. So and Bran realizing that there's a greater threat to the realm other than just revenge will make him realize that, you know, you kind of have to, like, just let Jaime slide. I didn't even think about that. I honestly realized or, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the conversation or the interaction between Jaime and Daenerys will go the same way. Had Jaime had not charged her with a fucking spear last season, she saw his face dead on, and honestly, if Bronn hadn't pushed him out of the way, Daenerys might have been speared to Drogon, and Jaime would be a roasted pile of ashes. But if he hadn't have done that, I feel like Daenerys might have forgiven him, because she knows that her father was easy. Her father was a slut. No, she knows that her father was a mad fucking king and he was a tyrant. So honestly, Jaime did the realm a favor, especially when Jaime will go on to explain to her that, hey, your father planned on blowing every single person, women, children, everyone, up in King's Landing. So had I not done what I had done, this wouldn't even be a thing right now. You wouldn't even have an Iron Throne to sit on. But he charged her with a spear. So I would like to see him get punished for that. Like, I'm a huge fan of Jaime Lannister, and I don't do this often, but I'm going to show you guys. Damn, this has a lot of dust on it. This is like my prized possession here, dude. This is the Jaime Lannister Dark Horse figurine. It's probably the most accurate one that they've ever made. Like, this looks exactly like Jaime, dude. Does that not look like Jaime? That looks exactly like him. So I'm a huge fan of Jaime. Don't get me wrong when I say that, you know, I'm a big fan of Jaime. I am. But I feel like he needs to get punished. You can't run at my queen like that. Like, if it was me, I would probably punch you in the face, good Lannister sir. Like, come on. But yeah, nah. I feel like had he not just charged the queen with a spear, she might be more forgiving, but I don't know. I don't think that's the thing. I really don't. Danny Jeter says, Q&A, so the children creating the others, right? Did they fight against humans first, or did they run off first, which led to the pact, and then thousands of years later, the long night? I don't know. The timeline is so convoluted on the TV show. George does a really good job of spelling it out for us. We have this event happens, then a few thousand years later, this event happens, then sometime later, this event happens. The show is like, it's crazy. Bloodraven talking about Three-Eyed Raven, goddamn, says he's been under the tree for thousands of years, and everyone interprets that as, oh, he literally must mean that he's been under there for thousands of years. No, he's been under there for like 100 and some change, the same as the book version of Bloodraven. What he means is that he's seen 1,001 different things. He's lived 1,000 lifetimes. He's seen almost all there is to see. He is all-knowing. Therefore, he is a lot wiser than his actual age, which is somewhere around 126 years. People get that so fucked up. Like, no, that's not everything they say is literal. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't literally mean, hey, I've been under this fucking tree for 1,000 years. No, I've been under this tree for what seems like 1,000 years. I just have to get that off my chest. It's a big thing. A lot of people comment that in the comment section. And I feel like those people that do that are just trolling me because I have to answer this all the time. That is not, like, season 6, this was my favorite question to answer. He did not literally mean that he's been under the tree for 1,000 years. He doesn't mean he's been in the cave for 1,000 years. What he means is that he's seen it all. So it feels like a long time. Which honestly, when I first started doing this live stream, I'd only been live streaming for 18 minutes. And when I found out it was fucking up, I thought I had been streaming for like an hour. That's how much, you know, time is relevant. Oh yeah, and to answer, by the way, I forgot, Force Blur to ask me a question before this started. She said, do I read? And I sort of answered it, but like a joke answer. She said, do I read, or am I planning to read anything other than A Song of Ice and Fire? And to completely answer your question, no, not right now. I tried doing that. I tried to, like, okay. There's like this, I'm sure you know about it. There's this thing called the Egyptian Book of the Dead, right? I've been working, this is probably one of the hardest videos I've ever had to work on. And I think at this point, I think it'll be out next week. I'm not really sure. It's like 26 minutes long. But it's a connection between Samwell and Toth. Toth is like, you know, represented in many different other religions and cultures or whatever, civilizations that you want to call it. But the Egyptian version of him was basically someone that knows everything. He literally knows all of the knowledge in the universe. He possesses it. And he gave this knowledge to some of the first pharaohs, and this is how they became pharaohs, or children of the gods. There's a, as far as like being the teller of the story, there's not really too many connections between Sam and Toth, other than the fact that they're both like historians, if you want to say this. But if you take it deeper, you could take the meaning that Toth gave the knowledge to the first pharaohs as like Sam giving the knowledge to Jon Snow and Daenerys' child without Jon Snow and Daenerys being there. So Sam is giving them this information and passing it down to him. So there's so many different connections with that. It's so fucking hard to do because I get so sidetracked. I start reading, like, for instance, what I was saying earlier. I started reading the Book of the Dead, and there's a video on it where people are talking about all the different things that happened in Egyptian mythology, or sorry, that happened in the Book of the Dead. And like the one version that we found of this book, and there's so many of them, it was basically the Egyptian Bible. We gave it the Book of the Dead, but that's not really what it is. It's basically a guide to the afterlife. It's like things they need to take. It has certain special spells and incantations to get them to pass, because the Egyptians saw the afterlife as not just like a guaranteed place for everyone to go. You kind of had to pay your way to get there. There were so many different things and trials and tribulations that you had to go through before you finally got to like the Elysian fields, if you will. There's so many different things you had to go to get there. And when I started reading that Book of the Dead to try to relate Sam and Toth even more, I got so fucking distracted where I made like 3 videos on Egyptian mythology. Like, I literally made 3 5-minute videos that I'm going to eventually release on this channel about Egyptian mythology and how much it means to me. I got this tattoo when I was like 19. I got this tattoo when I was like 16. No, that's not true. I don't know when I got these tattoos, but I've been obsessed with Egyptian mythology for so long. So when you ask me the question of am I going to read anything else, probably not, because I have severe ADHD and I don't know. You can read the Duncan Egg books. I've read it a few different times, waiting for the rest of them to be released. Yeah, sorry for going on that long tangent, but it's funny because I had to explain some shit to some people. Like, this will be the last thing I'm talking about Egyptian mythology. There's a story about how, you know what, I'm not even going to talk about that because it's going to lead me into like a 30-minute thing. Q&A, what's the possibility that Jon and Arya warg in Season 8? Maybe under Bran's tutelage? All the Stark children have wolf dreams. All of the Stark children except for Sansa. Lady was killed off too early. But the chances of Bran and Sansa... Bran sharing his gift of warging with the other Stark children, it's zil to none. He's the one person that can do it, and he can do it so well. If everyone else were able to do it, like Jon and Arya, for instance, then it would take away from his speciality. It would take away from his thing that makes him a character. It's a part of his identity. So if other people can do it, well, then it doesn't make him seem so important. And we were told from waiting from season 5 to season 6, Dan and Dave said that Bran is going to come back like Luke Skywalker. He's going to come back Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy as one of the only people that can use the Force. Like, obviously, Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine can use the Force, but Luke is the main character of that story. We don't find out that Leia can use the Force until much later, until The Last Jedi. We kind of knew that she was Force sensitive, but she couldn't use the Force in the original trilogy, and that reason being, and why Han couldn't use the Force, is because it would take away from Luke being as special as he is. So if everyone else can warg, it takes away from Bran being as special as he is. What are you doing, my dude? Hang on a second. Hang on. I'll see if he lets me pick him up as a baby. Oh, look, you let me do it. Let's see how long you let me do it for. No, little baby, look, you're on camera. Look, little baby. Say hi. God damn, you're embarrassing me right now, Nubis. Say what's up. Or hiss into the mic. That would be so funny. Do it. Hiss. Hiss. Alright, I'll let you fly. Alright, damn, how long have we been rocking this for? 46 minutes, and then another 20 minutes prior. We got about an hour. You guys got hella content to watch if you're just now tuning in. So yeah, the last question I asked, and that was no, I don't think that Bran will share his gift with the other 2 Stark children. There's not enough time for that. I think if anything, they'll want him to focus more on it. They'll push him to go further. Q&A. Trying to look for one that I missed. What would be the best thing Arya could do with Littlefinger's face? I'm sorry, I just pictured something. Oh man, she could sit on it. Allow me to clear off a seat for you, my lady. Nah, I mean, probably, like, that's the thing. A lot of people think that she's gonna use Littlefinger's face to get close to Cersei. No, that would be literally the dumbest thing she could do, for the simple fact that the last time Cersei knew about Littlefinger, she knew that he was keeping up residence in Winterfell. So that if Arya wants to be a dummy and go and get herself killed, then yeah, use Littlefinger's face. I honestly don't think there's any use for it. And I think the more I theorize about it, I think Littlefinger may actually still be alive. So I don't know. But I did like how she killed him by slitting him under her neck, almost as if she's already starting her work of removing his face. Like, she's like, I'm going to cut right here because that'll be the first incision I would have had to make normally. Then I'm just going to go around the face and take the face. The real question is how does she get to be the appropriate height? That's what I want to know. I feel like if we met in person, we'd talk for years about everything because I'm like a little tree. I just branch. That's a good one. That was pretty good, dude. Oh, man. That was a fucking good one. I wasn't expecting that. That was pretty funny. Benjamin, what up, sucker? Where you been at, bro? Ain't seen you in a minute. Oh, yeah, by the way, I need to start saying this because I might start streaming on Twitch right after this. I started a Twitch channel. It is not anything serious, but it's a way to get extra content. If you're fiending for some Sir Hunts in between videos, which, like I said, I've got 10 on the fucking back burner. March, get ready for your box feeds to be blown up. And I hate being one of those people who like feel like I have to overcompensate by hyping some shit up that I don't really have, but I do. And it's going to be fucking crazy. It's going to blow your minds. I had to take a step back and realize that some of the stuff that I'm saying is just too easy to see. I have to go deeper. She said, what? Sorry. I don't know. I have to go, deeper. And that's what she said. That's what I meant to say there. Ruining my own joke. use it as a cleaning rag for chamber pots. Haha, I like that. We're talking about Littlefinger's face. Q&A. Tin hat time. Is it possible that Jaime and Cersei are secret Targaryens? I think the timeline works better for them than Tyrion. I still doubt this, though. Okay. So let me grab this, and then this will be the last little prop I get, because I feel like I'm turning into Carrot Top here. But where is it? There we go. Damn, that's where my vape is. Yo, the boy Tyrion has been holding my fucking vape, and I just forgot it was over there. I bought that thing several weeks ago at the beginning of the year, and I thought I was gonna be using it to quit smoking. Ben, you moved to Spain? I was looking for a free place to stay when I came to the UK. Now you're in fucking Spain? I mean, that works with me. I heard, from what I've heard, I don't know, because I don't consume cannabis. But I heard that it's legal there, so that's cool. And I know you have a baby. Congratulations on that, man. I saw that a couple months ago. So yeah, this stays on top of my bookshelf. This is probably the first thing I look at every morning when I wake up. And I was thinking about gluing it down in there, but this isn't a real dragon. This is not like a Game of Thrones thing. This is from Walmart. It's a fucking candle holder. Oh shit! Oh shit! Tyrion just fell from the fucking dragon, my friend. I actually made, and this is, I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this right now, but I actually made a Tinder account just to see what the fuck it was about, and I wanted to laugh, which honestly is really funny when you read certain people's profiles. Sue from Watched on the Wall posts a lot of stuff from like funny Tinder things that she sees on Instagram, and I saw this one that was like some dude that she posted. It was really fucking funny. I was like, that's a hilarious description. So I went on there, I made an account, and I used that as my Tyrion thing as my profile picture. But anyway, I think that it just doesn't make sense for Tyrion to be a Targaryen, and that's what you were saying. The timeline for Jaime and Cersei works out a little bit better because they're older, and supposedly the Night King took liberties with Joanna Lannister, Tyrion, Jaime, and Cersei's mother on the wedding night, and Tyrion was born many years later once Cersei and Jaime were already like 5 or 6. So it would make more sense for Jaime and Cersei to be secret Targaryens, and it would kind of explain their natural wanting to be incestual kind of thing, and that does work more so for Tyrion. But Tyrion's just had dragon dreams his entire life as a child, growing up all the way up until now. One of his favorite things to do when meeting new characters or when trying to like just pass the time talking with another character is bringing up how he used to have dragon dreams. He actually used to play underneath the ruins or the caves underneath fucking A, did I really forget this? Casterly Rock, and he used to pretend to be a dragon for hours. He would pretend to be like a high Valyrian lord or a dragon lord, and like, you know, he was just burning everything. So, you know, that along with Tyrion having like being a midget or a dwarf rather, a lot of people think that makes him, you know, secret Targaryen. I don't know. I definitely don't think he is on the TV show. I think Tywin kind of confirmed this by saying, "You're my son," and like, you know, Tyrion was known as Tywin's Bane, so it would make sense. And Preston Jacobs done a video on how male Lannisters have shitty sperm. I suggest you go check that out. I don't know the name of that video, but it's a really good one. It is a theory. A lot of people think that it's been debunked, or that George doesn't pay that much attention to it. But so yeah, what was I talking about? Okay, so yeah, Jaime and Cersei. I don't know. I think the one secret Targaryen for the TV show was Jon, Aegon, if you will. And you know, that's kind of been revealed. I guess you could say Aemon was a secret Targaryen, even though it wasn't that much of a secret, just a secret from Jon. He didn't know. I think the Mother of Dragons is the evil, because deep in... I can't read that, sorry. What is my favorite artwork in the world of Ice and Fire? Let me pull that out for you guys. I'll show you. It's honestly, I know this is going to sound cheesy, it's honestly the artwork on the first pages. It's like dope because it shows Valyria, or Valyrian Freehold. Is that? That's not Dragonstone, is it? Yeah, it is Dragonstone. But either way, this is what I imagine the architecture looked like in Valyria before it got blown up in the Doom of Valyria. I just love that. It looks amazing. It looks haunting and gothic and all that good shit, but it looks dope. I also like the artwork on the very back because that's Robert and Rhaegar. The Battle of the Trident. That's probably like, you know, my second favorite. I'm pretty easy when it comes to stuff like that. It was funny. My girlfriend likes looking through this book all the time when she comes in here and sits with me, like when I'm making a video or something. She likes it for the pictures. She's like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but I love the pictures. I was like, I do too. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's beautifully drawn. Like, look at this. This is Ling from E.T. He's one of the emperors over there. That's why a lot of people think E.T. is supposed to be Asia. I mean, his name is Ling, and he's got a Fu Manchu on, so pretty obvious. And then we've got the Coneheads, Jogo Snai. Look at these guys. Those are fucking Coneheads if I've ever seen one. Check out Dan Aykroyd on a horse, on a zebra horse. The Dothraki wiped those dudes out. But, you know, my favorite actual pictures are from the lands of Ice and Fire. And I was gonna hang these up, cause I used to have a background for my my thing, since I'm not using my green screen or anything. But I forgot History of Westeros does that. They have the maps hanging up, so I didn't want to jock their stuff. But I wanted to hang these up. This one's probably my favorite map. Hang on, let me find that motherfucker. God damn. Come on. Get out of there. Alright, there we go. It's the map of Bravos. And I like it because you can... I don't know. It reminds me a lot of like Rome, Italy. It kind of has like a boot shape too. God, you guys aren't going to be able to see this in frame. But I'll try anyway. Yeah, you see the Titan of Bravos over here? I don't know if you can see him. This is my favorite map. I don't know. I like it. Reminds me of ancient Rome. Looks realistic in that sense. And honestly, I think I was obsessed with ancient Greece and Rome before Egypt because I used to watch Hercules and Xena. Mainly Xena. I was all about some kissing scenes with what was her right hand, Gabrielle, her right hand woman. I was like, oh my god, they're kissing. It was awesome. But you know what? If I hadn't seen those two shows, I wouldn't have been so open to Game of Thrones. I did watch, what was that Gladiator shit that was on HBO, or maybe it was on Showtime? Rome. I did watch that, but I just kind of fell off. I kind of, I don't know. Q&A, what do you think is going to be the first character? Who do you think is going to be the first character to die next season? Let's say some White Walkers. Some Winterfell citizens. First main character? Shit. Probably Melisandre or Grey Worm. It's just easy to get rid of them. They had such a good send-off last season. They had what arguably was way too long of a love scene. I don't think it was too long. Like, obviously, I love seeing Melisandre. You know what I mean? I'm not stupid. Natalie Emmanuel is probably one of the most beautiful women in the world. But I don't know. I just felt like in that episode, there were so many other important things going on that lasted a little bit too long. That's what I mean by that. Like, it's not like I don't like seeing those characters on screen getting busy, because nah, obviously I'm a fucking horn dog. I'm down to see that, but when you take it out of context of the whole episode, there was more important things that we needed to see. I feel like longer with, especially if we have a 5-minute sex scene with Melisandre and Grey Worm, who are second-tier characters, and then we skip over something major like the ransacking of Highgarden. How the fuck was Jaime able to just overpower them like that? Like, come on, I understand that a lot of her troops were elsewhere, but Highgarden is supposed to be like this massive fortress, and Jaime just overwhelmed it and just brought himself straight to the Queen of Thorns. Like, I'd like to think that it would have been a little bit harder than that. So yeah, I would say second tier characters. Probably Dolorous Ed. If not Melisandre or Grey Worm. Yeah, Dany is evil this season. Tyrion sees it, and when she finds out Jon is the rightful heir, she will go Mad Queen. In King's Landing, she'll kill Jaime and Cersei, so Jon kills her. He'll then go to the wall. I don't think so. I don't think any of that stuff's gonna happen. I do think that it will be a little bit awkward once Daenerys finds out her and Jon Snow's true lineage. I think that she may be more willing to continue the relationship than he will. I think he'll just be disgusted with himself. I think it would be pretty funny that if once they find out, once they announce it, if we see some character just going to go throw up, it's not completely out of context for Game of Thrones. We saw a poop and shit montage last season, and then before that, you saw we saw a comedian who's like famous here on YouTube. We saw him get I can't think of his name right now, I don't know why, but we saw a thumb get shoved up his butt. So they're obviously huge fans of like Monty Python, the Three Stooges, gag humor like that. So it would be completely in question if, you know, because that's what Emilia Clarke kept saying, is like she kept pretending with Kit that it was just disgusting that she had to do the nude scenes with him. I think it would be pretty funny if once they find out, one of them just doesn't feel at ease and they just have to throw up immediately. That would be pretty funny. I do think that it's going to be ironic if Cersei finds out about this, because her and Jaime are lovers, or they were lovers, and that's why the kingdom hates the Lannisters, or part of the reason why they hate them is because all of their children were, you know, not of the Baratheon line. I do think it would be pretty comical if they find common ground over that. Like, Cersei's like, look, you're sleeping with your aunt, I'm sleeping with my brother. Let's just be incestuous rulers. You take the north, we'll take the south. That kind of thing. That would be pretty funny. Will Arya become Lady Stoneheart? I don't think anyone's getting that line. I think it could be argued that she had Lady Stoneheart's storyline a little bit last season. When she, you know, chopped up the Freys and put them in the pie, fed them to their father, then killed all the men there. That was like as Lady Stoneheart as we're going to get. It's not a character on the TV show, so it's hard to give that role to someone else. Sometimes they do a really good job with giving other characters other people's roles. Like Edric Stormchaser is obviously Gendry for the TV show, but sometimes they just completely, you know, which makes me think that maybe Lady Stoneheart will die early on in the Winds of Winter. Or I guess... excuse me. What's up with Skagos? What about it? You can go check out my Davos theory video where I mention my thoughts on how Gendry was switched out for that Rickon plotline. Davos was supposed to get Rickon, who was the next king in the north, next in line for House Stark. He's supposed to go and get him from Skagos. And he meets with Waymond Manderly, who like has him in prison. Then he takes him out, and it's like this giant feast. And he's like, "Look, I'll let you go, and I'll declare my loyalty to Stannis if you go and retrieve Rickon Stark from Skagos." So I think that adventure that Davos was about to go on in the Winds of Winter was given to him and Gendry. He went into King's Landing, smuggled Gendry out of King's Landing. Now Gendry has pledged his loyalty to Jon Snow. That was a connection that I made that I don't think anyone else did. It was now see, I say that, but there's like 100 people in the comments going, I didn't miss this. I didn't fucking miss. Well, I didn't see any videos on it. I'm a Game of Thrones YouTuber. I make videos on stuff. So that's what I meant by that. Back during the season, that's why I included you may or may not have missed, but I don't include that in the titles anymore because that's what's to be insinuated. I think I do a pretty good job of bringing up stuff that has either never been brought up before, like my connection with Davos. The first word that he learns how to read is Aegon. That's definitely foreshadowing to the fact that the one true ruler that would treat him properly is Jon Snow. His name is Aegon. I think you can go even deeper than that. It's like once Davos learns how to read, he starts changing who he is as a character because he can start doing more. He becomes a negotiator. So once Davos starts getting set on that path, the first word or the first light of hope that he sees in that dark tunnel of not understanding words is Aegon. Jon Snow has treated him like he is one of, you know, a member of House Stark. He's treated him very honorably. So you could argue that Stannis kind of did that, but I mean, you chop off a man's hand and he smuggles in onions and fish to feed your family when you guys are eating books and shit. Come on, bro. Q&A, assuming Danny lives, Size Torna says, oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. I'm back. What's up? Q&A, assuming Danny lives long enough to give birth to it, do you think the baby will be a boy or a girl? And do you think it will ever sit the Iron Throne, assuming the Iron Throne is still around? I'm going to refer you back to a video that I did back in October where I pretty much made every single major prediction for Daenerys and Jon Snow, or my prediction for them. And it has changed a little bit with new spoilers coming out, but I was going to eventually put that on the docket. As of right now, I think the next 2 videos that are going to be coming out, the next one is Champions of R'hllor. Wait, no, that's not the next one. Fuck, what was the next one? Oh yeah, Bran and the dagger, manifesting the dagger in the weirwood net to kill that king. Him being the champion of the old gods. I guess after that, no, because I'm still not done with the Samwell and Toph video. I don't know. We'll work it up into the docket. It may be there. What I might start doing is push off the longer videos and just pump out, you know, like 3 or 4 7 to 10 minute videos this week, because that takes me literally no time to do. I just have to take audio out of the videos that are longer, just make them shorter and more condensed, to maybe re-record a few different paragraphs, or re-record a few different but to somewhat answer your question, I honestly think that it will probably be a woman. I think the whole thing with Game of Thrones Endgame is like they're ridding themselves of the past, certain parts of the past that they don't need to carry on to a brighter future, that being the patriarchal society of like men first. You know, if technically Jon Snow, under this society, Jon Snow has a stronger claim to the Iron Throne, even though Daenerys should, because she's the actual daughter of the king. Jon Snow is the nephew of the last true king that was in power. Obviously Robert claimed it through his grandmother, who was a Targaryen, but I'm just saying. I think they'll have a daughter, and I think that she will sit the Iron Throne. I think she'll be raised by Sam. It would be a little bit too much if history repeats itself if the child were to grow up not knowing its true lineage, although it wouldn't be completely out of the question if Sam is raising this child, because both of its parents died during the Great War saving the kingdom, and they didn't want their child to be subjected to that same life of having to rule or having to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, when it's really they've already done that so that their child doesn't have to. But I definitely see it being a girl. You see how there are so many castles like Highgarden or Storm's End? What will happen to all those places? I don't know. I don't think they'll be addressed. I would have liked to see Storm's End in the TV show. I think the only chance we'll get to see it is if somehow Gendry is given the lands of his father's people. He is the last Baratheon on the TV show. Other than fucking, goddamn, what is it? The cat that everyone fucking brings up. I forget his name, because it's like, this is live and I can't remember his fucking name. I keep wanting to say Binks, but that's the black cat that my cat reminds me of from goddamn, I can't remember. Hocus Pocus. Q&A, have you ever done a video on Three-Eyed Raven backstory? I don't know. Let me look and see. I think I may have. Let me see. Probably, if I did, it was probably like back in 2016. It was one of my first videos. I used to do a lot more book stuff when I first started. Main reason being Sir Pounce. Thank you guys. Thank you. I can't believe I couldn't even fucking remember that. Sir Pounce is the last true Baratheon left alive. I'm sure he was given that last name. We do know that he was Tommen's cat, and Tommen's last name was technically Baratheon. So there's that. So yeah, no, I've stayed away from the book stuff is because I feel like the greatest videos on that have already been done. The like some of the best book theories that are out there are done by Preston Jacobs in Alt Shift X. So I feel like me what I'll do, if there's a theory that can play into season 8, then I'll do that, which I'm sure you guys have seen me do that with all of my past videos that have been theory videos. I've taken something from the past and like moved it to the future. But just doing straight out theories that are based on the books, those have already been done a million times, and I feel like I'd just be reciting information that everyone already knows. Until I've studied the material enough to bring something new to it, I'm not going to make those videos, because that's just literally re-updating those videos that are already so well done from in the past, like just making them edited a little bit better, and that's stupid. Until I can bring something new to the subject matter, I'm not going to do a video on it. And honestly, every single of those old theories, like who is this or who is that, I can't think of anything in particular right now, they've already been done. So why would I do that again? I mean, I could. If people really wanted me to, I would, obviously. But I think people watch my channel more for, you know, TV show related content. Do you think that Gendry and Arya will get together? I refer you unto my last in-game theories video where Gendry's in the thumbnail with Arya and then Ned holding ice. Go and watch that video. I like Mia Pants' response to that, which is, no, that's not Arya. That's basically my answer. Winter hit North Lancashire way too soon. In script, Bran is on the throne at the end. I don't think Bran will be ruling anything. Other than maybe if he survives, going back north and rebuilding Bloodraven's cave. Alright, I'm going to take a few more questions. The only way that I'll stay out longer is if someone sends a super chat. I'm sorry, I just had to say it. It's been on my chest for a while. Please, give me money, please. Money, please give us. That's another line from It's Always Sunny, when Mac's mom pretends she has cancer in order to get money to pay for, was it the church? The cross that she broke on the churches? I don't know. It's fucking hilarious. Goddamn, that is one of the greatest episodes of It's Always Sunny. Dr. Jinx! He's like, I got something, because what is Dennis? Dennis goes, I can't feel anything, man. I don't know, I can't cry anymore. And then he's like, alright, I got something for it. And he whips out the bass and starts playing, fuck, what song is that? God damn, I thought it was New Edition. But either way, he starts playing that shit. He's like, boom, boom, and he's just like all into it and shit. And Dennis is like unfazed by it. I don't know. It's even funnier when he sprays Miracle Grow on Mac's sailor rod or whatever it is he has on his arm. He's like, and then they confront Dr. Jinx later. They're like, you're a fucking scam artist, dude. He's like, you had me back into a corner. I had to do something. I was like, yo, what the fuck, dude? Oh my god, that is the greatest show of all time. Honestly, if I had to choose one show to watch for the rest of my life, and it was like on a desert island kind of thing, it would be so hard for me to choose between It's Always Sunny and Game of Thrones. I feel like laughter would be the best medicine on a desert island because it sucks. Everything's, oh shit, super chat from Helen L. She says you're dope. Well, thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Everyone, shout out to Helen. She is always 99, we'll say 95% of the time, the first comment on my videos. So she puts in work. She has her notifications turned on. She's a member of my Patreon crew, and she's dropping love in the super chat. That is what's up. So make sure you guys, you know, tell Helen we appreciate all that she does, and we are the hunt. What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, so if I had to choose, I feel like laughter would be that best medicine for me to take on a desert island, but then it's also like there's so much nudity in Game of Thrones, and there's the aspect of obviously you'd have to become best friends with your hand because that's human nature, so you kind of need Game of Thrones with the boobs. Speaking of which, shout out to Con of Thrones. Shout out to fucking Con of Thrones for getting Roz to go. And not only that, but more so recently, Paula Fairfield, one of my favorite people. I got to hang out with her at a party. She's fucking awesome. She's the sound designer for Game of Thrones, but also Gilly. These three new add-ons are going to be there, as well as Lysa Arryn. They're all going to be at Con of Thrones, so make sure you go and, you know, go and buy a ticket. You can use the code Sir Hunts to get, I think it's something like 10% off or something. I don't know. I completely forgot that they gave me that code for that, and I totally forgot to do that. Justin Kelly says, I got burned out on It's Always Sunny. What? That is fucking blasphemy. You just haven't watched enough. That's all that is. Go back to season 5. I think Sansa will live a sexless life. Theon will be a perfect man. Yes, and I've said that. I literally said that. And I forgot to mention that, you know, Theon doesn't have... Everyone thinks that couples have to equal sex, which equals a baby, an heir to continue their line. Not necessarily. There's other people that can do it. And Sansa has been raped. That is extremely traumatizing. I wouldn't be surprised that if she never wants to have sex again, obviously she eventually would. But I'm just saying... It makes sense that Theon, who doesn't have a penis, would never hurt her. That would be like one of the best matches. Holy shit! Goddamn, I'm gonna wake up my girlfriend if I keep yelling so fucking loud. We got a $20 super chat from Nancy T, and she said, just hopped in for a second. Here you go. Now you have to stay on longer. Gotta go, but love you. Well, thank you, Nancy. And because Nancy did that, I will be staying on longer. And it's like a chain reaction because now we got another one from Sam Doles, the author, and she says, keep up the great work. Everyone who's watching right now, spam in the motherfucking chat, show them some motherfucking love to Nancy and Sam and Helen and everyone else for doing the do. Oh man, that's what's up. Fuck yeah, you guys rock. Any other adoptions? Jon sort of adopted... Well, not sort of, he really is. Ned really did take him under his wing and, you know, made him turn out to be who he is today. Sorry, I just saw that super chats making me excited. I don't know. I feel like since I haven't done live streams in a while, I forget how dope super chats are. Because you're like, yo, give me some money, please. And people are like, here you go. Oh, man, I'm sorry. You guys are making me blush. Y'all are making... me blush. Hey, I got a question for you guys. I'm gonna take probably, you know, several more questions. But I have a question for y'all. Do y'all think I look like I could be, I don't even know what describes the race, but like Polynesian or like Aboriginal from, is that a fucking spider, my dude? Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me, yo. Jesus fucking Christ. I was like, dude, there is a spider right there and I see its web growing. No, it was a piece of my hair in the light and like the hand of the kingpin sticking out from behind my my little board up there. I got this at Con of Thrones, actually. This was something that someone gave out to us after a panel, after the in-game panel, and I actually lost the little bag that it came in, but shout out to that person. I know she 3D printed them motherfuckers, and they look awesome. Okay, but yeah, do y'all think I look like, I guess Kiwi, do y'all think I look like I could be an Aboriginal from Australia, or maybe Polynesian like Hawaiian? Because I've had several fucking people tell me that the past couple months, and I'm not mad at that, not mad at all. It's just nowhere near close to the race that I actually am. That'll just be a new one that I add to the list, because I've been told I look Indian, like Indian from India, like Calcutta, Native American, which I actually am. A few people, if anyone, tells me that I look like that, though, because they see the curly hair and they're like, oh, it's supposed to be straight, like straight Native American hair. But anyway, what the fuck race did I just say? Okay, so Indian, Native American. I've had one person ask me if I was Filipino, which was extremely rare. I've never even, I used to play in a Filipino church Christian band. I played the drums from like 2010 to like 6 months into 2010. So that's kind of random that they told me that, but I love that kind of food, and I can pick up on certain words in Tagalog, so that's kind of random. And then what's another one? Spanish, I get that a lot. Every single different country that speaks Spanish, like people think I'm Dominican, Cuban. My grandma is part Dominican. At least that's what she tells me. I don't know 100% that she is, because my grandma was crazy, but that's what she says. So I always say, yeah, you know, I am part Spanish. But those are the most common ones. I've never heard anyone tell me you are the human. That's your race. Fuck yeah. Thank you. I'm not even trying to bring this up into like an identity politics kind of thing, but I am saying that I'm just curious. I don't know. Curious about that, because a lot of people have been saying it. I don't know if they're just trolling me or if they're actual serious. Other people think that same way. Q&A, do you think Arya will finish the list by the end of the episode? That's a good one. Definitely Dothraki, maybe American Samoa. You look a bit Jamaican. Well, if I tell you if you have a thing Jamaican, how does one look Jamaican? Cause of the dreadlocks, cause of the weed I smoke, cause of the goat I curry. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I have heard that before. My grandpa, my grandma's husband, who was my grandpa since before I was born, he's Jamaican. Let your beard grow out more and you look like Hagrid from Harry. You're a wizard, Harry. A wizard. You're 1/4 crazy, apparently. Maybe I'm half crazy. You don't know me. Would you mind your business? Just mind your business. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Shout out to Will Smith. Oh man, we're getting off track here. Oh shit. Okay, so will Arya finish her list by the end of the series? I've actually mentioned this in my last Arya video. I think that Arya's list is a mantra. What I've learned in my own life, that if you put something out enough in the real world, usually that'll manifest itself and you'll have it. I'm not saying that the secret is a real thing, like I want $1 million, I want $1 million, let me go do the work to get $1 million. No, not quite like that. But if you say something enough, it will work itself into fruition. So Arya has this mantra of every single person that she wants to die. So far, some of those people have died not by her hands. So who's to say that's not going to continue? Like, Cersei's on her list. She's not the one to kill Cersei. Jaime kills Cersei. The Mountain's on her list. She's not the one to kill the Mountain. Sandor and Brienne are the one to kill the Mountain. The one person that's on her list that she would most likely be able to kill, and Davos would be down with it, is Melisandre. But Melisandre is another person on her list who she may not have the chance to kill before Davos kills her himself. So you have all of these different people that are set up for death anyway, and because Arya's been repeating this so many fucking times throughout all of A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones, that has worked itself out into the universe, and now those people are marked for death. So there's that. I do think that everyone on her list will be dead, but I don't know if she'll be the one to actually carry about those deaths. Q&A, what do you think is north of the lands of always winter? I don't think the north wraps around and connects to Essos that way. I do think that you can get to Essos if you keep traveling west of Westeros. What's north of the lands of always winter? I mean, if it's a spherical place and not flat earth, then you would just wrap your way back around. Eventually, you come back down to Braavos, maybe. You know what? We could pull out the map for this shit. Let's do it. Because why not? How long have we been streaming? Man, 1 hour and 22 minutes. This is like a 2-hour live stream. I'm getting it all out of my system, though, because I haven't done a live stream in a long time. This is what's up. Let me find the map for Westeros. Some of these maps are so pristine, I don't even like taking them out and unfolding them because I always fold them back the wrong way. This is the Summer Isles. Okay. It's not Westeros. I think it'll be on the left side. Yeah, it should be map number 5. Here we go. I haven't opened this one. No, I did. I put this in a video, actually. Yeah, and you know what? It stops north of the lands of always winter. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was just the North Pole. This is what you're talking about. You have the Frozen Shore, Fist of the First Men, the Frostfangs, Hardhome. So we don't even see the lands of always winter on this map. But I would imagine it's something very similar to a North Pole, maybe. Look, I'm already folding the map back wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I would say like a polar cap of some sort. Yeah, I would say a polar cap. All right, let's get a couple more questions. What up, Mr. Hunts? What up, EAC88? Can I get a refill? Can you get a refill of what? Some water? Will Mark finish that water before the end of this live stream? Dude, I don't know if you can see it, but I keeps the water in here. You should look underneath here. There's literally, because I like save up my recycling for a long time, so I just toss the water bottles under there. I'm a heavy fucking water drinker. I probably drink at least 6 or 7 of these a day. I don't know if you guys noticed, no one said anything, but I have a fucking bench press set sitting right behind me that I'll be working out. So that way when I go to Con of Thrones and I take my shirt off and I do my Dothraki cosplay that I've been working on for a whole year, I'm actually fit and, ready to show off my muscles. But yeah, no one said anything about that. There's a fucking bench press set sitting right behind me. You guys haven't said shit about that. Everyone always talks about Darth. Everyone always talks about the guitar. but no one has said anything this loud. Unless I missed it. Could have been in the chat and I missed it, but yeah. The fucking bench press set right there. The reason why I bought that is because my gym refuses to update our gym equipment. So I'm like, should I go and sit on that nasty-ass sweaty equipment that no one wipes down, or should I just buy this $80 thing off of fucking Amazon? And obviously, you know what I did. Oh, man. Q&A. Do you think Davos brought Jon back to life and not Melisandre? I actually mentioned that in my Davos video. Honestly, Davos isn't a patron of the Lord of Light. So I do think that his prayers helped, but ultimately it was Melisandre. She performed the ritual, so she brought him back. You could argue that what pulled Jon's soul more from that nothingness void was Davos standing with him and believing so much in him that he's willing to either sacrifice himself or do anything within his power, like go and get a woman that he hates to try to help. So you know you have that. Honestly, you could look at it as it was definitely Melisandre, because the same thing happened with Beric. Thoros had to lose faith, and then he just started believing again, and that's what brought back Beric. So it's almost like R'hllor likes fucking with people. He likes to wait until you think he's not there, and then he works. So that's, you know, what happened with, like, Melisandre lost faith, and she just goes out on a whim, does this ritual. She had heard it be done before. Remember, she spoke with Beric and Thoros about this back in season 2, or is it season 2 or 3? I can't remember. But either way, she had heard of it being done. She lost all faith, just goes out on a whim, and then bam, she brings him back. Can't stay, Sir Hunts. My daughter's getting married Saturday. Got way too many things to do. Have a great weekend, people. Oh, you have a good weekend too. And tell your daughter I said congrats. She is now someone's ball and chain. I'm just kidding. I gotta go ahead and make Nancy a mod. I don't know why she wasn't made a mod. She is a member over on Patreon. Use the wrench status wisely, my lady. If it lets me. It should. Okay, yeah. Yep. Add moderator. Bam! Nancy T is now a moderator for your channel. Chris, you were late as a motherfucker. And I even sent you a message on Facebook Messenger. And I said, hey, Chris. I said, Chris, you gonna come and watch? You gonna be watching my live stream? Y'all want me to do it, and then you're not even there. And now he shows up right as we're wrapping things up. God damn it, Chris. Late to the battle as always. You're like the Knights of the Vale, man. Late to the fucking party. On an open field. Your mother was a Dothraki whore with a flat ass. Oh, man. Whatever. Justin Kelly, you said that last time, my dude. It is not... No, that is so misleading. It's not true. It is a deep fake, and it looks terrible. Like, her face phases into itself. It's, I don't know. I can't get down with that. When I first heard about them, and when I briefly glanced at them, I was like, oh, my God. This is going to be revolutionary when it comes to research. But I don't know. It's just, can't really get down with that. I don't know. Now, sex scenes from Game of Thrones, well, duh. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. And honestly, never mind. What do you think the Westeros version of a cheeseburger is? Well, it's going to become Hot Pies Hot Pies. He's going to start selling them. He's going to make a giant chain. People don't think he's in-game. He was brought back up for a reason, and he's going to be killed on the battlefield, and then he's going to be brought back, and he's going to spread his pies throughout the land. That will be the Westerosi version of a cheeseburger. But seeing where this Q&A is headed, and knowing in which direction I've brought it, I am going to be wrapping things up here. I want to thank you all so freaking much for watching. If there's one more question that pops up in between me saying this, then I will say it. I will answer that question, but I don't see any that I either haven't answered, haven't done a video on, or that are just, you know. Oh yeah, and let me make Bubba Husky's thing a reality. The water is on there. Raul Harikishan says, how many reps can you get on that bench press? How many reps? I usually do like 25. That's like maybe 100 pounds. That's not very much weight. It's like 100 pounds. This thing was $80, so it came with, 80 pounds worth of weight, and then the bar weighs like 15. So that's like 95 or 100 pounds, and I lift it. I guess 25 would be the set, and then I'll do that all day. So maybe like 10 to 15 times a day. Whenever I'm feeling anxious or depressed, I'll just go over there and lift it. So maybe like 10 or 15. I lift the bar maybe like 100 times a day, if that. At least that, we'll say that. Was there another question? How many Unsullied does it take to kill Cal? I don't know. That's a good question. I would love to see Khal Drogo and Grey Worm have a sparring match. That would be fucking dope. Or just one of the Dothrakis that are still alive. I don't know. Maybe 420. But either way, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please slap a like on this video. If you would like to be entered into my contest to win a $100 excuse me, Amazon gift card. All you have to do, I completely spaced. I don't know what the fuck just happened. If you want to be entered into my contest to win a $100 Amazon gift card, all you have to do is slap a like in this video. Make sure you subscribe, go ahead and turn your notifications on. Then check out the gleam.io link that I will hopefully remember to pin in the top comment of this video and go and answer all the different bonus ways. Retweeting and following me on Twitter as well as subscribing me to here on YouTube are mandatory ways to enter the contest. If the contest selects you as a winner, and if you have not done those things at least, you will not be chosen as a winner, just as a heads up. So make sure you do that. I know a lot of people are saying, I don't have a Twitter account. How am I supposed to enter if you don't have a Twitter account? Before, I was willing to just, kind of, if you subscribe to me. But the big thing about doing these competitions is I need to have them lift up all my social media platforms. So it takes 20 seconds to make a Twitter account. Do it on your computer, so if you don't want to have the app on your phone. Or just do it, make an account, follow me on Twitter, retweet the tweet, and then delete the app. Then you can get rid of it off of your phone. But either way, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please slap a like on this video, like goal will be 420. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunts, sitting with y'all for 2 hours live Q&A reviews.